Good day, my loves. Hello. Top of the day to you. It's like 12:31, y'all. September the 2nd. And I can't sleep, of course. I took a nap earlier today, but normally I'm still able to go to sleep, but not right now. So, I'd figure I'd talk to you guys about what's going on in my mind so I can get it out my mind. I'm done with my journals. I am like literally writing on pages that have already have words on them, but I cut them out or drew a line. All those books, yeah, look at this. All those right there. Those are journals that I've written. And there's 4 more in my bag. And that's over the past 3 years. It's more than that, I believe. Because again, I had to double up on some books because I didn't have another journal. And right now, I don't have another journal. So you guys will be my journal. Hiatus notes. So, as I'm sitting here thinking about everything I've gone through, everything I've been through, everything I've seen, everything I've picked up on, everything I've read, everything I've watched, it all leads me to one thing. You must find the truth within yourself. And hey, I know that sounds very cliche. I do. I know it sounds very cliche, right? Hold on, let me see something. That's a lot better. I'm drinking. If you can see it. I'm actually drinking a smoothie. Right? You must search for the truth within yourself. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is by getting in contact with God. And so as I'm sitting here learning patience beyond measure, which I'm sure it's going to be helpful. Patience is always helpful, right? Because right now, I really am not waiting on anyone but God. My mind is very sharp. But it has its limits. But God has no limits. So I'm sitting here thinking, about where I was 3 years ago, y'all. 3 years ago, I was an insecure. And understand, my insecurity came from realizing that the world that I lived in was a facade, was a mirage, was fake, was a matrix, and the people around me were naysayers, were unsupporters, were not for my best interest, and my insecurity flared there. Up until then, I was literally about my business. But when you come to the realization that everything and everyone around you is fake and we're out for something from you, and once you set boundaries. They showed their true colors. Well, they've been showing you the true colors, but you know, the empath situation, right? So when you come to the conclusion about those things, and when you come to the conclusion that you are by yourself but not essentially by yourself, it makes you question everything. Everything. It makes you question everything in your existence, which leads to insecurity, because you're like, well, how didn't I see that? How didn't I know that? Why didn't I know that? Why didn't I see that? Why didn't I? Oh, man. And then so you start doubting yourself. You start doubting yourself. You start doubting your decision making capabilities. You start doubting whether or not you can trust other people, essentially meaning, do you trust your own judgment? Because it's not about trusting other people. You trust people to do and be exactly who they are. But do you trust yourself to be able to see those things, to be able to feel those things, to be able to know those things? And even when you don't know them for factual, like you have an example, but you feel it. Do you trust yourself enough to go off that gut feeling and do what needs to be done? That was where my insecurities came in at. Really did. Because up until then, everything worked out. And so I was of the mindset, which was an incorrect mindset, that if you do good, trouble would not come. And if it did, it wouldn't last long. Mine lasted for so long, it was like, what happened? I never thought God forsake me. I never thought he gave up on me. I never thought he disappeared on me. I just was like, okay, what's going on? There's a lesson in this. Okay, there's a lesson in this. That was literally how I was taking everything. Like, okay, there's a lesson in this. What do I need to know? After I cried about it, I'm like, okay, what do I need to know? It's a lesson in it for me. I didn't realize all the little lessons I was going through was leading to the big lesson. And that's basically self-love, knowing when it is your time to walk away. Yeah. Walking away hurts us more than it hurts the other people. Why do I say that? Because we know what they're going to go through without our presence being there. We know it. For one, you're no longer the scapegoat, right? So then it's going to turn on each other. They're going to turn on each other. And if there's no voice of reason, which I've always been the voice of reason, it really does make me shudder to think. So when my mind tries to think about it, I turn it over to God, and I take my hands off of it, because I'm not God. And I've put in my time, I put in my work, I put in my effort, I put in my energy, I put in my love, I put in my sweat, my tears, my support, my unconditional love. Yeah, I put in all that. And so now, during my journey, I realized that I was intervening in God's work in other people's lives, trying to save them. So mine had to come to a halt on all aspects, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So I didn't have it to give to anybody else. I really didn't, because I had to build myself up. I had to build myself back up from ground zero. Because that's basically what happens on your spiritual journey. People be like, God tear you down. No, he don't tear you down. He show you the truth. He show you what you were built up on. And it's a bunch of trauma. I trauma bonded to a lot of people. But I thought it was, we had things in common, you know. We had the same type of pain type thing. But we weren't healed, so it was trauma bonding. It'd be different if we had healed those wounds and those traumas and found each other, then it would be, oh, you went through that? Oh, okay. No, but we were going through that. I was going through that, and the people that I met were going through that. And so we were on that hamster wheel. This is what I think about when I'm, one of the things I'm thinking about. Because I'm all about healing, bettering, learning, teaching, growing, observing, nurturing. And right now, as much as I want to nurture everybody else around me, and I see things going on, and I see where if I could explain it or show or say or anything, that they'd get it and it'd be better. But I've tried that, and it always have come across as if I'm better than them or anything like that. So now the knowledge that I have, it can't be given. And that bothers me because I'm sitting in the middle of it, and I have the wisdom, the knowledge, and the foresight to help. But God is like, your time been up. You stayed longer than you were supposed to. So I'm still learning how to take my hands off. I haven't quite done it yet. So as I preach to you guys and try and teach you my lessons, I'm still learning them, some of them at the same time. It's difficult when you see the people you love struggling. And you have the keys, but they don't want the keys from you. They don't want them from you because they're all about proving you wrong right about now. They are. They're about proving everything that you said, even though they know it's the truth. They're trying to prove it to be a lie. So they're going to try and discredit you. They're going to lie. They're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. Live in your truth and watch God show them. You don't have to show them anything. And I tell myself that every day. Because understand, I'm still learning. And I've just gotten to this point. Although it's been a progression, God put me through it in the past 3 years. I mean, it was like bam, bam, bam. It hasn't let up until like there were like little spats here and there, which I understand that that's going to come, but it didn't let up. It was like, I said, God must have, and I said this to a homegirl at the time. I said, God must got me on a fast track. Because I'm like, these lessons was hitting back to back. It was like Saturn was like, listen, you finna get these lessons because you're not about to repeat. You don't need to repeat. Your time been up. But they were trying to force you. They're trying to force me. And that's a whole nother story. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how I'm gonna like map out my story. It's the truth is stranger than fiction. My story is Anyhow. So I drank my smoothie. I wanted something sweet. So I had to make a smoothie. And I was actually asleep, I felt like, or I was halfway there, and then all of a sudden I was woken up. I done picked my toenails, the clippers and stuff, drank some water, I done went outside. So I said, let me come make a smoothie. Maybe now I'll be able to go to sleep. But these are just hiatus notes. And my sleep has been very sporadic, but that's been my whole life. So, you know. But yeah. Still healing though. Still healing. I remember making a vow to God that I did not want to do what was done to me to anybody, to not my own child, to not nobody else's child, to not an adult. And little did I know what I was signing up for. Little did I know that entailed fighting generational curses and fighting the devil, which is a generational curse, and fighting spiritual demons, and learning about spirituality and learning about who I am to the core of me, to the spirit of me, and I'm still learning. And by ways of that, y'all, you must dig into your astrological chart. And if you are of a Christian faith, I'm not sure about any other faith, but I know definitely Christianity is against what they consider divination. But when you read the Bible, there's a lot of things that they consider to be divination, which wasn't divination. It was just God-given gifts, which is what we now call like intuition, psychic abilities, and all the clairs, right? So when I say all the clairs, I mean like clairvoyant, clairsentient, things like that. I think there's 4 of them. So if you're interested in those things, you can pull them up. But God has given us all spiritual gifts. Some people's spiritual gifts are stronger than others. And we were so unaware, y'all, of what spirituality is. We were so unaware. And I'm also learning and inner and over and understanding that there's some information that certain people can't have. They can't get it. You know what I mean? In every superhero Marvel comic, there's something that the bad guy wants, and the superheroes are preventing them from getting it. Flip it to our world, flip it to our realm, flip it to the human experience. And it's what some people in the spiritual community call keys to the streets. And that's basically information that comes to you intuitively that you don't know where it comes from, but you know it and you feel it. And there are those that want that from you. They want your spiritual gifts. Your energy is a spiritual gift. The fact that you are still breathing and alive to watch this video is a spiritual gift. And there are some that would prefer you playing video games, fighting, cussing, having sex indiscriminately, fighting over religion, fighting over race, fighting over politics, fighting over the football team, doing the crate challenge. Like, they want you to waste your energy doing nonsensical things, doing things that cannot bring you the abundance that God ordained you to have, preventing you from living. Listen, I'm not preaching to you. I am preaching to myself, because I'm struggling. I'm struggling with it. Not struggling with doing nonsensical things, because my options are limited at the moment, but I could put more time doing research. But then again, I keep feeling that I'm supposed to not be doing anything, just resting, because I've done a lot of research, and there will come a time and place where that has to still be done. But I don't know. It's like, it's hard not to do anything. I don't even think I know what not doing anything feels like, unless I was depressed. And when you're depressed, you don't want to do nothing. So that comes easy. But when you are not depressed, and when you are ready to move up, out, and about, and that don't mean you could be living with somebody. You could be in your own home and still wanting to be up, out, and about, especially given during these times, right? And nothing is lined up for you to do so. Nothing is lined up. Nothing. You have no phone, you have no car, you have no home of your own, you have no prospects. So the only thing I can do is work on my emotions, work on getting to know myself, and sitting in silence for the majority of my day. That's what I've been really doing on this hiatus. I watch a movie every now and then, and I still play games on my phone, which I play Scrabble. It's the only game I play right about now. And block game. I used to play Candy Crush. I was already up to like 4,000 when my phone went kaput. So did that information as well. So I felt like God was like, you need a new start. That was the beginning to me, like, okay, here come a new start. And I see the abundance around me. When I went to the grocery store the last time, there was abundance right there, and I loved every bit of it. Every time I seen something that I always buy, and it was like on sale or like 2 for $4 or something like that, I was like, okay, God, thank you, because that's abundance. I was looking for abundance to come in me getting my wish fulfillment. But in order to appreciate that wish, I have to see the little wishes and the little abundances that come in all shapes, forms, and sizes. And so even though I was like, okay, God, I'm ready, God, I'm ready. God knows better. Especially because he knows the plans that he has for our future, right? So he knows that in the condition that I'm in now, if he was to have given me my wish fulfillment, there's a chance that I could have squandered it up, that I could have messed it up, that I could have forsaken it, that I could have whatever, not appreciated it. But I'm recognizing that when we go through hardships, it is a buildup for some. I can't get no worse than where I'm at. I mean, I can. But when you hit rock bottom and you recognize you're rock bottom, there really is no place to go but up. That's why I always have hope. But even in the midst of darkness, I had hope. You can't take my hope away from me because I believe in a higher power, and I've always believed in a higher power. So I'm not sure if you're an atheist watching this channel. If you are, in my head, the little girl in my head was like, good luck. And she said it like real sassy, like not mean, but like good luck. And the little girl in me is not from the South. She from New York. So that would have been a real hard good luck. But that's not how I just say it in my head. And I'm not saying it to be funny, atheist. I'm just saying there is a higher power. There is a higher power. It's funny because they go between, I'm sitting here going back and forth in my head, and they're like science and spirituality. But to me, science is spirituality. I know science is the study of things that can be explained through mathematics and all that stuff. But science is also bits and pieces of it and large parts of it that is unexplainable. And so people conjecture or they hypothesize. To me, that is where spirit lives. The unexplainable. The unexplainable. There's a lot of things I learned, y'all. A lot of things. And I am cautious. I am very cautious. Because of what I went through, I was living and sleeping beside the enemy and didn't know it. And I know they watch my channel. I know they do. And so, because I know the plans that they had for me, I am very careful about what I say and what I do. For the most part. For the most part. Sometimes my mouth is still fire. Not in a way where when I was younger, I'd cuss you out, yell at you, fuss at you. No, but it's still fire. Okay, that's 25 minutes that I have talked. These are just my thoughts on my journey of self-discovery and finding out who I am in the spiritual realm. As above, so below. I need y'all to get the fact that it happens in the spirit world before it is manifested here first. It happens in the spirit world first before it is manifested here on earth. Meaning, our souls, our spirit guides, God, everything is orchestrated in the spirit realm. And we acted out. Literally, we acted out here in our physical bodies. If you're on this journey, you've heard and you started watching videos on YouTube and your mind is getting and you hear this term all the time. We are not humans having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human existence. And for a long time, it was like, okay, I heard it. But until you fully understand, or not even fully, because I don't think I fully understand who I am in the spirit at this point. I know who I am in the spirit, but I don't fully understand because I don't understand my part. I don't understand. We all have a part to play. Depending on what side of karma you fall on, you know what your part is. That ain't up for me to decide. But now that I've come to do some research on myself and sit with myself without all the outside noise, distractions, and actually having healed some of my traumatic wounds, I get it. We feel trapped in our human bodies because our spirits are bigger than these limited editions. Look at your body as a limited edition. It is priceless, but there's limits to it. But your spirit, your soul has no limits. And your dreams are a key to that. Your dreams actually tell you what's going on in the spirit realm. They tell you what's going on in your subconscious. They tell you what's going on or what will happen in the future. And they also give you insight into your past. That's what your dreams do. Pay attention. You are a spirit. You wake up in this body every day. Think of Avatar. If you've never seen that movie, I suggest you watch it. It's a very spiritual movie. I picked up on the spiritual part of it, but I wasn't thinking about it as spirituality at that time. But I picked up on the significance of it and the correlation and the parallel to our world. Like, to me, it was colonialism when they went to, I forget the name of their planet, for that resource, for that tree of life. Think about spirituality, y'all. Tree of life holds all the knowledge. It's magical. It allowed them, that tree of life allowed them not just to connect to each other and to feel each other and to build an inseparable bond with each other, but it also connected them to everything on their planet. Think about that. Every bug, every animal, every tree. They could tap into the trees and download past information. And when they were about to die, the tree of life helped transform them. Tree of life is information. Think about it that way. But when I bring up Avatar, I'm bringing up the fact that, remember the dude, Sigourney Weaver and them? They had these bodies, think of it. They had these bodies, right? And they went to sleep in a pod, and they woke up in these bodies. We're looking at it from a human perspective, like a human did it. But look at the human perspective as if it was their consciousness, as if it was their soul. And that's basically what happened, because when the guy went into the body, his consciousness was in that body, even though that body looked like their species, looked like part of their clan. But he was not. He was not a part of their clan. He looked like them, but his spirit had come from someplace else. It had come from Earth. So look at it that way for yourself. The only difference is that we don't know from whence we came. We don't know where we come from. We don't know what planetary system we come from, what solar system we come from. You don't even know how really old you are. Because remember, energy never dies. It transforms. I have a theory. I feel that our life path numbers tell us how many times we've reincarnated here on Earth. And we're here to help. Not just each other, but we're here to help her. We're here to help the planet. She's been abused too. She's a woman too. She's been abused and neglected and taken advantage of. And we've all played a part in that. I was walking around the block the other day and I seen trash and I was like, oh, that's a daggone shame. And I realized that I was judging. But what snaps me out of that is that I recognize when I did that too. When I just carelessly threw something out the window. I'm guilty of it. Yes, I am. When I was young, I used to do that because we didn't care. We didn't see how we were all and everything is connected. When you realize that there's a different type of appreciation for the people, places, and things that you come across. And so that's what I am reconciling within myself. Reconciling that I know what was done, but also recognizing that they are a part of me. Like I have a niece that is, I can't even get mad at. I'm not even mad at. Why? Because she is a reflection of me, not how I am now, but how I used to be. I helped raise her. So I understand and don't take it personally because she is a mirror, a reflection of who I used to be, not who I am now, but who I used to be, that angry person,